What's good, YouTube? It's Tavares, and we back with another video, y'all. Today, as you can see from the title, I sold all my Bitcoin, but I sold all my Bitcoin back in 2021, not now. I would be crazy if I did that now. But yeah, I just wanted to show y'all a little glimpse of what I actually purchased back in 2021 on Coinbase at the time when I was, just fresh into crypto. I didn't really understand none of it. I didn't understand Bitcoin. I didn't understand what it was. I just had a friend at the time, teaching me what crypto was, teaching me how to, receive and transfer it to different, wallets and stuff like that. And it was just a completely different world for me. But I'm glad at the time that he taught me that, because it took me down a rabbit hole to really educating myself and learning about what crypto actually was, and then specifically what Bitcoin was. And now we're here, fast forward 2025, and Bitcoin is smashing all-time highs every single day, seems like now. If y'all can look up at the screen now, I'm logged into my old Coinbase account, and the price is currently 118,700. It's crazy, bro. It's crazy. I recently did a video about Bitcoin surpassing all-time highs when it hit 116, and then that very same night I went to sleep, it went to 118. It's crazy. It's crazy. You feel me? It's crazy. I'm loving it though. Bitcoin is going crazy. And for y'all who's not on board yet, man, get on board. Anyway, let me get started with the video. As you can see, I'm logged into my old Coinbase account. I just want to scroll down here and show y'all what I have been purchasing, or what I did purchase back in 2021. So look at this. I don't know if y'all can see it or if I'm in the way, but my first buy was in May 2021, May 5th, 2021. So I received $9.98 in Bitcoin on May 5th. And then I guess I sent it back. I guess this is when I was learning what crypto was. I think I sent it back May 6th, or I probably like cashed out or something. I don't know what, but I sent it back, and then I bought on May 10th $1,000 worth. I bought a little over $1,000 worth of Bitcoin on May 10th. So that was my first big purchase into Bitcoin when I really didn't understand it and I was new to crypto. I don't play. When it comes to investments, man, if I believe in it, I'm all in. I'm going all in. I'm not, sometimes in life you got to take chances, but you got to take calculated chances, educated chances, not just, investing your money willy-nilly. But at this time, I was kind of like, this was the first crypto ever created. It seems, stable. Well, no, it wasn't stable. It was very volatile. Still is to this day. It's stabilized a little bit more so now. But back in 2021 and, before that, we were getting drastic dips and drastic spikes in Bitcoin. So, yeah, it wasn't stable whatsoever. But, because of that volatility, I saw an opportunity to buy into it and, cash out at a surplus, hopefully. But yeah, May 10th, I bought $1,000 worth, a little over $1,000 worth. And then May 19th, I put $500 extra into it. You see? So literally, I owned more than 0.01 Bitcoin back in 2021. So I wonder what that would have been worth now, because everybody's doing the challenge now. Oh, just get the 0.01 Bitcoin. And 0.01 Bitcoin right now is like a little over $1,000. I owned almost 1,500. I owned 1,500 worth. So back in 2021, I actually owned more than 0.01. And I wonder what that would have been worth to this day. That's crazy. And then let's fast forward to December. So all those months went by and I bought $71 worth December 17th, 2021. Now, fast forward to 2022, May 2022. I don't know why I waited till May of 2022, but I sold $1,200 worth of Bitcoin May 2nd, 2022. And if you peep, that's 0.03, right? So I was beyond the 0.01 challenge that people are doing today. And then this is 2025. So yeah, January 7th, 2025, I converted a different crypto I had on here into BTC, $2 worth, not that much. And then I converted another $1.31 on January 7th, 2025. So as you can see, I haven't really been in my Coinbase account for, such a long time because, I opened up my brokerage with Robinhood. And from there, I was just buying stocks and, real estate, not real estate, but I was buying stocks. I was buying REITs. I was buying just different companies that I was interested in, like Tesla, Nvidia. And I was getting, honed in and locked in on stocks. So crypto was just like more so new to me. Stocks were new to me too. I think this was all in the beginning of my investment journey, but, crypto was a little bit more foreign to me than stocks. I could catch on to stocks a little bit quicker than I did crypto at the time. So I kind of dabbled in it a little bit, but not too much. I was mostly focused on stocks at the time. Obviously, you could see here that, I had a $10,000 limit of being able to send money into Coinbase. Now, this is not the amount of money I had at all, but this is the limit that Coinbase gives you, I think, every day to send money into Coinbase to purchase crypto. Let's see. These are a little bit of the features. So you can sell. So look, I only have like $4 worth of Bitcoin in here. I gotta, send that to my cold wallet. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, I just wanted to, let y'all know, man, because I'm sick, dog. Like, I wonder what would have happened if I would have kept that 1,500. Let's actually look on ChatGPT to see how much money my Bitcoin would be worth now if I would have kept that 1,500 from May 2021 all the way up to July 2025. Let's just see that. I would have had more purchasing power now. Let's see. All right, so Bitcoin is 118,700 now. All right, so look, if you had bought $1,500 worth of Bitcoin in May 2021 when the closing price on May 31st was roughly $37,000. Oh my God, y'all, look at the price. Look at the price, fam. Look at the price. It was only $37,000 for one Bitcoin back then. Again, that's still a substantial amount of money, depending on, your net worth or your, depending on your job or your career, how much money you make every year. For some people, that's still a substantial amount of money, but it was vastly cheaper than $118,000. So you had a better chance of getting one Bitcoin back in May of 2021 than you do now, because the price is just running away from you. Like I tell everybody, the price is running away. But you would have acquired approximately 0.04 BTC. All right. How much is worth in July 2025? At today's price of 118,700, 0.04015 Bitcoin times the price now, is doing the math, would equal $4,767 today. So if I would have kept the $1,500 worth of Bitcoin that I purchased in May of 2021, I would have had roughly $4,700 right now. And you see how over time, Bitcoin just appreciates and it also grows your purchasing power. I would have had more purchasing power now when I first bought that back in 2021. But if I would have kept that $1,500 in a savings account, not even a high yield savings account or just a regular savings account, my purchasing power actually would have went down compared to the dollar. And we can look that up too. So look, based on July 2025 forecast, base case projections set BTC around 110 to 125, which would value your holdings between $4,000 to $5,000. So wow, I back then in 2021, $1,000, $1,500 bought me about $4,000 worth of money today. I was buying $4,000 worth of money back in 2021 for $1,500. I know that sounds crazy, but that's what it was. My $1,500 would have been worth $4,000 today. Crazy to think about. All right. But let's see. And let's just see it at different price points. I love ChatGPT for breaking it down at different price points for me. So look, now that $1,500 that I had in worth of Bitcoin back in 2021 would have been worth $4,700 today. And then if Bitcoin, okay, so it's giving me a price point between 110 and 125. It still would have been worth $4,000 to $5,000. And then if Bitcoin runs up to 130 to 145, that 1,500 would have been worth 5,200 to 5,800. And then in a bear case scenario, so if it went down between 92,000 and 100K, it would have went to 3,600 or 4. But still, it would have increased regardless. I would have had more money regardless. Okay, so yeah. So that's a gain of nearly 217%. Wow. Now, let's see, right? Now that we looked at how much money I could have potentially had in Bitcoin, let's see if I just kept that 1,500 in a savings account. Let's just see. Okay. So look, it's saying great comparison. Let's look at what 1,500 would be worth today if you had kept it in a high yield savings account from May 2021 to July 2025, a little over 4 years. So step one, estimate average interest rates. Here's a realistic breakdown of average percentage yields during that period, annual percentage yields. So 2021 was 0.50%, 2022 1.50%, 2023 3.50%, 2024 4%, 2025 4.50%. These reflect averages of high yield savings accounts, not traditional bank accounts, which are lower. See what I just told y'all? I didn't even tell ChatGPT to give me, the numbers when it comes to a high yields. I just said a regular savings account. So let's look, now that it gave it to us, let's see the numbers for what it would look like for a high yield. But look how it mentions a regular savings account would have been way much lower. That's insane. So let's see. Step two, compound the interest. Let's use compound interest, compound it monthly across 4.5 years, where, okay. So it's doing the math expressions right now, and it's working everything out. Okay. Final comparison. Investment type, Bitcoin versus savings account, value in July 2025. So for $1,500, we know that I would have had $4,700 today in Bitcoin. In a savings account, I would have had $1,700. And this mentioned a high yield savings account. In a savings account, my boy, in a savings account, my money would have only grew by roughly $200 and some dollars. While it would have grown by a few thousand in Bitcoin. Look at the difference. Look at the difference. In 2021, if I would have kept my Bitcoin holdings, it would have made me, it would have grown to $4,000 today versus a savings account where I would have only had 1,700, a 200 and something dollar growth rate. Wow. That's insane. That's insane. And this is why I keep less and less of my money in a savings account today. And I keep majority of it in Bitcoin, because what's the point? My purchasing power ain't growing by that much. It would have grown, but in 4 years, you're telling me I would have made a little over $200. That's insane. The evidence is all right here. ChatGPT is crunching the numbers. We ain't even got to do it ourselves. The proof is in the pudding, man. That's insane. So it says your Bitcoin investment outperformed a high yield savings account by nearly 2.75 in this time frame. Wow. And it's asking me, do I want to compare it to other assets like gold, the S&P 500, or CDs? Yeah, let's do gold. And the S&P 500. And I showed y'all the other day in my other video, Bitcoin surpassing all-time highs. The NASDAQ, the S&P 500, and Bitcoin, I believe it was like the growth percentage in one day. Y'all go take a look at that. And I was telling y'all the best asset to invest in would have been Bitcoin, because it had like a 4% growth rate in, I believe, in one day versus the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ. But look at this. So here's a detailed comparison of what your hypothetical 1,500 investment from May 2021 would be worth in July 2025 if you had allocated it to gold or the S&P 500 instead of Bitcoin. Gold. So the closing price around May 31st, 2021 for gold was approximately 1,900 to 1,912 per ounce. Average closing price early July 2025, about 3,335 per ounce. So if you bought $1,500 worth of gold divided by the closing price around that time equals 0.79 ounces of gold. Okay, at $3,335 an ounce in early July 2025, the holding would be worth about, just doing the math, 1,500 times the ounces divided by the closing price in May 2021 equals $2,620. Okay, not bad, but still not better than Bitcoin. Still not better than Bitcoin. I would have had nearly almost $3,000 worth more for investing in Bitcoin versus gold. Not bad, but as an asset overall, Bitcoin's returns are just higher. Let's check out the S&P 500. Price today is around $620 per share. What was the SPY trading at in May 2021? SPY was roughly $420 per share around May 2021. Let's see. Therefore, your $1,500 would have brought approximately 3.57 shares of SPY. Let's do it. So 3.57 shares of SPY times the price per share that it's at today equals $2,227 today. So me buying 3 shares of the S&P 500, it would have grown my money to $2,227. That's less than gold. So you're telling me gold, and of course it is, but gold is the better asset to buy than the S&P 500. And then of course, Bitcoin is the better asset to buy than both because it outperformed both. Crazy to think about. So gold would have grown the $1,500 to about $2,620, or roughly a 74% gain. S&P 500 would have grown to about 2,227, or roughly a 48% gain. Both significantly trail Bitcoin which at today's pricing stands around $4,767. Case closed. Case closed. If you want to know what's the best asset to purchase right now, it's Bitcoin. It's Bitcoin. It was then in 2021. It is now. And I regret it, bro. I regret so much selling my Bitcoin back in 2021, but I can't blame myself. I didn't understand it. So, you know, it is what it is. I understand it now and I'm all in now. But I can only imagine with the 2 jobs that I'm working now, if I was working those 2 jobs in 2021 and I was just buying it every paycheck, or I was buying as much as I could every month, or if I was buying the same amount that I'm buying every month to this day, I can only imagine how much my portfolio would be worth now. I probably would have even got to 1 whole Bitcoin. Man. But yeah, that wraps it up here, y'all. I just wanted to make a quick video about, you know, how much what I purchased back in 2021 and my regret selling it due to Bitcoin's skyrocketing price. Now it's almost at 119. Every single day it's just smashing records. It's crazy. But yeah, man, all I got to say to y'all, man, keep learning about Bitcoin, keep stacking sats. I'm going to keep making videos about this, and, you know, I'm still learning about myself. So we're going to go on this journey together. I'm still learning about it. So, you know, maybe in a future video, I'll give y'all some like book suggestions or some resources, some podcasts that I watch when it comes to Bitcoin personally. And I'll probably even do some videos when it comes to like storing your Bitcoin, how to store it safely, you know, how to get it off those exchanges, because there's another saying in the Bitcoin community that, you know, dang, I forgot the saying. Dang, I think it's something where if it's not your keys, not your cheese. There you go. So if it's not your keys, it's not your cheese, meaning that if you don't have your own private keys and your own cold wallet where you're storing your Bitcoin in cold storage, then it's not your Bitcoin, because exchanges have their own private keys to their own Bitcoin holdings. So you got to get it off those exchanges. You got to get it into a cold wallet, and you got to take self-custody of it. All right. But that's the video today, y'all. It's Tavares, and we gone.